the use of torture, sexual violence and rape against Palestinian prisoners has now become routine. McGiver, the man taunting those he's kidnapped on the high seas from the flotilla, gets as a birthday present from his wife a noose to celebrate for his birthday their plan to execute specifically Palestinians who will engage in resistance against the genocidal apartheid regime and the illegal and brutal occupation of their land. This is the sick mentality we're dealing with. These are the sick people who now have in their detention those heroic people on the flotilla. But of far more greater importance, I think everybody will say, including those on the flotilla, is this is just a small glimpse of the brutality, the horror, the barbarism that is inflicted day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out, for decades against the people of Palestine by this brutal genocidal and apartheid regime. So isn't it long beyond time that there was sanctions imposed on this regime? So tonight, for the first time in the Dáil, there will be, before the TDs, the opportunity to vote on comprehensive economic, financial and trade sanctions on the Israeli state itself. Francis Black's bill, which the government promised, but have reneged on that promise, proposed sanctions for the illegal occupation of the occupied territories. And we're still here demanding that Francis' bill is passed and that the government honour the promise they made. Although I think all of us, and Francis will be up here in a little while talking about her bill, are very worried that despite making that promise, they have no intention of keeping it or seeking to dilute the bill if they even pass it at all. And have already indicated they're going to vote against the sanctions bill tonight, which is criminal. And there's a lot of people who get up and say a few words, so I don't want to say too much more, except it is important that you're here to put pressure on them. And they are using legal excuses to justify why they're not supporting this bill tonight. But they are absolute nonsense. Nonsense! Absolute lies to cover up their shameful complicity with Israel's crimes. They say they're prohibited from passing this bill because it has to be done through the European Union. Now, first of all, Spain and Slovenia have already passed bills similar to the Occupied Territories Bill. They have done so unilaterally. There is no reason whatsoever the Irish government can't impose sanctions unilaterally. And they can argue, and I believe would have an unanswerable case in front of any European court, that their obligations under the Genocide Convention, a convention which was put together in the aftermath of the Nazi Holocaust, is a greater obligation than any obligations they have to European treaties or European markets. So these are all lies to cover the complicity. And we all know the complicity. US military allowed through Shannon, flight through our airspace, transporting weapons to Israel. The central bank facilitating the sale of bonds which are being used by Israel to raise finance, to commit the genocide, to sustain the apartheid. And Ireland is one of the biggest trading nations in the European Union with the Israeli regime. Absolutely obscene. But if all of that isn't enough, we find out this week, thanks to Neil Sargent from the Currency magazine, that in 2024, in the midst of the genocidal slaughter against the people of Gaza, the Irish government approved €20 million of dual-use exports to the Israeli military themselves. And that represented a massive surge on previous similar exports. So they can't say they didn't know. It was multiples of any similar exports that had gone to the IDF. The fact that they were exporting anything to the IDF for years is shameful. But in 2023 and then 2024, those exports jumped by hundreds of percentages. From about €1 million a year to 20 million in 2024, direct to the IDF while they were raining down death, destruction and mayhem on the people of Gaza. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So that's why it's important, and whatever happens tonight, we're going to keep up this fight. So I'm going to introduce speakers. We have fantastic support for the bill. If maybe the speakers could come up. I see a few of them standing in front of me. With speakers from the flotilla, organisers. We've got support from all the most of the opposition parties and groups. My own technical group, the Labour Party, Sinn Féin, the Social Democrats, Solidarity, and a number of left-wing independents, the IPSC will be speaking, and many, many others, the anti-war movement, and many, many Palestine groups, PALS for Palestine, and Mothers Against Genocide group, many, many. We'll try and name a few more of them, but I just want to shut up and get off the speakers. But thank you all, and I see there's people from Derry and Sligo and many parts of the country have come down. I just want to thank you all. Yeah, and if Daniel Lambert was here, maybe because he's going to speak as well about the need to boycott the Israel-Ireland soccer game, and he's someone who's been leading that fight, so he's here somewhere, or he's due here, so hopefully he'll be saying a few words.
Stop the gang!
Stop the gang. So we'll talk about those over the course of the protest. But if I can introduce first Fatin Al-Tamimi. You know her very, very well, a Palestinian who has been at the centre of leading the fight for sanctions, for advocacy for Palestinian self-determination and freedom, a central figure of the Irish-Palestine Solidarity Campaign, and a great friend and comrade. So please welcome Fatin Al-Tamimi.
Good evening all. I'm standing here not only a representative of the Ireland-Palestine Solidarity Campaign, which I'm very proud of, but as a Palestinian woman carrying a heavy and bleeding heart. While I am standing safely here, my family is being torn apart by apartheid Israel torture. My sister and her beautiful family survived the genocide in Gaza. But the trauma and the destruction they have endured are beyond words, but they are still trapped in Gaza till this day. At the same very time, my aunts and cousins living under brutal military occupation in the occupied territories built in Hebron and Al-Khalil, they are facing daily harassment, checkpoints, and terror. No one is safe in Palestine, and no one is spared. Monsters Israel are killing innocent people, not only in Palestine, in Lebanon as well. And now, terrorist Israel is kidnapping the brave people of the Freedom Flotilla in international water in a grave violation of international law. Piracy is committed in broad daylight and the world is doing nothing. These activists are risking their lives to break the siege and bring aid to the starving people of Gaza because of the governments have completely failed to do so, have completely failed to end the genocide and end this injustice. Israel has shown the world time and time again that it does not care about international law. It acts with utter and absolute impunity. Why? Why is Israel allowed to do all this? Why? Why are they permitted to carry out killings, ethnic cleansing, occupation, genocide, and now kidnapping humanitarians in international law? Why? Why does Israel get to break every single international law with total and absolute impunity? Why? I can't understand. How much longer must we wait and to watch this slaughter before the world says enough? And what is our government here doing? What have they done till now?
Nothing. Nothing. Useless.
We have marched, we have lobbied, we have cried, and we have pleaded. But the Irish government tells us that their hands are tied. They are carrying weapons of destruction to use Shannon Air